How long is the entrance? Okay. They chant for him? That's cute. Why is it just dark? Not starting yet? Should I skip a bit?
Series X and
Okay. I guess we're just gonna watch until it starts. No, this is awkward. Noise!
hello, PAX East, and hello,
Okay.
Warriors of Light!
Oh my god. I need to turn this shit down. Oh my fucking god, my ears.
Thank you for coming. We're so excited to see you. It's been a jam-packed week. We had patch 6.58 drop earlier, and we also had our official launch on Xbox Series X
What
and
did
Series
patch
S.
6.58 bring?
We hope you've been treating all of our new sprouts as kindly as you can, and maybe have been picked up some extra poetics as you've been queuing with them. That said, we have a lot of fun news coming, so without further ado, I'd like to introduce to the stage the producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV, Naoki Yoshida!
Woo! Oh, that's an awesome sweater. It's a chocobo on it.
Thank you for coming today, and thank you for watching our live stream. My name is Naoki Yoshida, producer and director of Final Fantasy XIV. Aimi-san, 自己紹介を。
Oh, yes. Hi, I'm Aimi from Square Enix. I'll be helping Yoshida-san here with the translations today.
I really would like to go to PAX East. seems
皆さん
awesome.
本当にたくさんお集まりいただいてありがとうございます。
But yeah, thank you guys so much for coming to today's panel. Lots of you out here. There.
パンフェスみたい。
It's like Fan Fest again.
Oh shit, that is a lot of people.
今日はこのパックスイーストの、メインステージから皆さん世界中の光の戦士たちと一緒にファイナルファンタジー14のここまでの申請してからの10年の歩みを振り返りつつ新しい情報それからこれからファイナルファンタジー14どうなっていくのかというあたりをお話しさせていただければと思います。
So for today's PAX main stage, of course, we would like to thank all of our players, our warriors of light around the world, looking back at the 10 years of Final Fantasy XIV, and then also talk about some new stuff that's coming up and how we're going to proceed from there.
We did not clear.
改めてこうやってこんな大きな会場でですねこんなにたくさんの、プレイヤーの皆さんと一緒にこうステージでね盛り上がっていけるのは本当に皆さんのおかげです。ありがとうございます。
So yeah, just having this opportunity and having a venue to speak about our title and get together with all of the players and just get excited is such an honor. So again, I just want to thank everybody, all our players.
Yay! That's us! That's us!
では
chat!
ちょっと2013年の ARR レルムリボーンのリリースからここまで、累計アカウント数がどう変遷してきたかちょっと振り返ってみたいと思います。
Okay, so I'd like to take a look at our trajectory since 2013's release of A Realm Reborn and the registered number of accounts.
Oh, eh?
レルムリボーンリリースしてから400万人、 そして1000万人、1800万人、
Yeah,
こ
how
う
many
どん
people
どん
play
増
this
え
game?
ていきました。
So as
Oh shit.
we've seen an increase from
That's a
4
lot.
million to 10 million to 18 million.
That's a lot.
ちょっと正直信じられない数字まで、皆さんのおかげでこうバックアップねしてもらったかなと思ってます。
But yeah, we are truly blown away by these numbers. It's almost unbelievable to us, but it's just so wonderful to have so much
That's still a lot of
backup
people.
or support from you all.
今日この会場に 1.0 から遊んでるよっていう方どれぐらいいます？
I just want to see a show of hands. Who here has been playing since the original 1.0 Final Fantasy IV?
おお、いるいるいっぱいいる。
Yay, we have so many multiple players.
That one guy waving his hands like
すごい
that.
たくさんいる。ありがとうござい
Oh,
ます。
wonderful. That's good to see. Thank you.
まあかなりね厳しい 1.0 のローンチでしたけど、本当にここまで信じてプレーをしてくださって改めてありがとうございます。
Yeah, we did start out really rough with the original 1.0 version, but I'm so glad that you believed in us and you continued to stick with us. So thank you again.
ではここからはちょっと各エクスパンションごとにどんな内容だったか皆さんと一緒に振り返っていきたいと思います。
So from here, I'd like to talk about the different expansions that were released and what we went through with each one.
まず最初 R エルムリボーンファイナルファンタジー14の立て直しからですね。
So first is A Realm Reborn when we sort of rebuilt Final Fantasy XIV.
覚えてる方
So
たく
they're
さんいる
going
と思うん
over
ですけ
like
ど、発売したのはいいんですが、
the lore of the game right
非常
now?
にサーバートラブル
Is that
多
what
く
they
て
do
です
for the
ね、
first little bit?
ダイアログあんま見たくないですよね。
So
That's
when
cool
we
to learn
first
about.
rebuilt 14, of course, I'm sure a lot of you may remember, but it's great that we were able to release the game. But with the server troubles and login issues, you know, you see that all too familiar pop-up dialogue. I know, I'm sure nobody wants to see that again.
ただあれですよね、エンドウォーカーの時あれの3倍ぐらいの数
Did you
字を
go
ね
to a place called
見ましたよね。
Aortian
That said, those
Cafe?
of you who tried to log in at the start of Endwalker, I'm sure the numbers in that error dialogue was much higher, maybe 3
Oh my
times the
god.
number.
So, I've told you guys about this a few times. There was one day that I got home from an 8-hour shift. This was like a weekend to Endwalker. I got home from an 8-hour shift, logged into my PC, hopped into the Endwalker queue. I was on Crystal at the time, and the queue was about like 3,500 people. So I got into queue, went to go take a shower, went to go eat dinner, came back, and there was a couple hundred people left to queue. So I was like, yay, perfect. It's almost done. Get on my PC, wait for my queue to pop. I walk inside my FC house, my game crashes. And then I had to go back into the queue. That was very enjoyable.
7.0 は多分サーバーたくさん増やしたんで大丈夫だと、信じております。
But with at dawntrail, we have increased the number of servers, so I'm hoping, fingers crossed, that this dialogue won't pop up for you guys.
Hopefully, good God. I'm scared for those queue times.
そしてまあ R エルムリボーンというと結構忘れられないのがタイタンみたいなかなり尖ったコンテンツも多かったと思います。
And of course, with A Realm Reborn, I'm sure you will have some memorable encounters, including Titan, which was very challenging.
ちなみにタイタンのランドスライドで、30万アカウントぐらい消滅した記憶がございます。
By the way, I remember the challenge of Titan was quite tough. So with his landslide, we may have lost about 300,000 registered accounts.
Wait, really?
まああとはあれですね。覚えてます？
Holy
ダークライトシリーズ。あれが最強装備でしたね。
Dark Light attire, or the armor series. Oh, remember? Yeah.
はい、まあそんなのがあって続いては蒼天の石ガルドに移りました。
Okay, and with that, we released our first expansion, Heaven's Word.
なんといっても蒼天の石ガルドから、レイドには難易度のねノーマルとこうハードみたいなものが入って、まあいよいよコンテンツを少しずつこう多層化していくみたいなタイミングがスタートしました。
Oh, dude, I
So
like
the
this thing right here that says flying mounts let players take their adventures Heaven's Ward. Ooh, that's nice.
Heaven's Word, we tried to look at the difficulty level of the different battles, encounters, dungeons. So with the raids, we incorporated the normal and savage tiers.
ただ我々にとっても非常に学びの多いエクスパンションで、
I didn't pronounce anything wrong.
プレイヤーの皆さんからの ARR のフィードバックでちょっとレイド簡単なんじゃないかなっていうフィードバックをたくさんいただいていました。
So Heaven's Word was a lot of learning for us. We received a lot of feedback after the release of A Realm Reborn, and some of it was, oh, isn't the raid just a little too easy to get through?
Oh, and they made the
じゃあ
Alexander raid super fucking hard, right?
And so we were like, okay, fine, we get it. It was a little bit easy.
そしたらですね、やりすぎだと。Too much!
So
Trial and error.
we adjusted it. We adjusted the difficulty level, and now everybody was saying, no, it's too hard. You did it too far.
まあそこからね、コンテンツやジョブのメカニクス、いろいろ皆さんのね、フィードバックをいただいて、
I'll
こ
keep
う
the
アジャスト
bottle,
を始めていったというタイミングでもあります。
But with the feedback received, that is when we reviewed the job mechanics again and the different abilities that were available and made adjustments accordingly.
そしてなんといっても
I think I'm too late to upload to YouTube. Me watching this, I'm like I'm an entire day late, which
ファンフェ
is
スが開催できるようになった年でもありました。
And of course, we were able to hold our very first fan festival this year.
さあこの1回目のラスベガスのファンフェス行ったよっていう方います？
By the way, with the first fan festival, did any of you attend the very first Las Vegas fan festival? May I see a show of hands?
Thanks. おいろいろありがとうございます。Thank you.
Thank you.
they're not showing the crowd. Show
僕
the
が
crowd.
一生で最も緊張した基調講演でした。
I want to
This was
see.
The keynote presentation where I was the most nervous.
そして続いて。ストーンブラッドへ、時代が移っていきます。
Next, we released the Stormblood expansion.
I liked Stormblood. Had a really good story.
まあここは本当にたくさんのフィードバックをいただいて、まあジョブのメカニクス、それからバトルコンテンツのメカニクスというところも
You see it?
かなり、発展、試行錯誤が続いていったタイミングでもあります。
My
And
enemy.
of course, we continue to receive feedback, and we were able to look to that to adjust the different job mechanics as well as the battle mechanics.
それと同時にコンテンツに関しても、今なおたくさんの方に遊んでいただいている、例えばエウレカとか、多人数の大規模コンテンツを実装していったり、いろんなチャレンジ、まあ野間式麻雀もそうですね、コンテンツが縦にばっかりじゃなくて横にこう広がっていくタイミングにもなりました。
And of course, we tried to diversify our content as well, including large-scale multiplayer content like Eureka. I think some of you are still enjoying that content.
I'm still upset Endwalker
Domain
didn't get
Mahjong is
one.
another thing. So not only did we sort of expand on the difficulty, now we're going for the breadth of content.
ちなみに当時エウレカのアップデートをプロデュースされたライブでやるたびに、チャットにはですね、皆さんのこうズズズズズズっていうのが出て。ノーモアエウレカって書かれたんですよね。
You know, and when we were talking about Eureka back at the time in like a live letter, and we looked at the chat, and a lot of people were going ZZZ, ZZZ, or
Oh,
no
God.
more Eureka.
まあでもいろんなチャレンジをしてくるからこそコンテンツの広がりっていうのがあるんだというふうに今振り返るとね、そういうふうに思える、確証だったんじゃないかなと思います。
But that said, because we took these risks and took on these challenges, that's why we were able to bring such variety of content.
そしてそれを経てシャドーブリンガーズへ続きます。
Well, yeah, Shadowbringers is
Of course, we
fucking
released
awesome.
Shadowbringers.
特にですね、ファイナルファンタジー14、MMORPG ではありますが、RPG としてどれだけこう質の高いストーリー、それからバトルの融合というのを目標にやってきたんですけど、その集大成に近いところが作れたんじゃないかなと思ってます。
And so with this expansion, we kind of focused on the story and the RPG aspect of it and trying to blend together the narrative into some of the combat that you encountered. And we feel that we were able to start reaching that sort of culmination point as of Shadowbringers.
皆さんのおかげでですね、本当 RPG としても随分大きく成長させていただけたというふうに感じています。
And I think because of your help, we were able to grow as an RPG as well.
でこの辺りからどんどん本当に多くのプレイヤーの皆さんがファイナルファンタジー14に訪れてきてくださることによってプレイヤーの皆さんのニーズっていうのもかなり様々になってきました。まあそこにいろんな形で対応していくという試行錯誤を始めたのもこの時期です。
And of course, at this timing, there were more and more players joining Final Fantasy XIV, and we realized that there are different needs for different players, and so that's when we started looking at accommodating for even more variety of content.
そしてそれを経てエンドウォーカーへとつながっていきます。
And with all that, it connected into Endwalker.
こちらは
MMORPG
というね終わらない物語というか終わらない世界ではあるんですが、節目ということで、1回目のストーリーフィナーレを目指すという形で皆さんに本当に物語と体験をお届けしてまいりました。
And of course, with Final Fantasy XIV, we are an MMORPG, which doesn't technically end per se, but we tried to bring a sort of finale to a story arc at this time.
ただそれと同時にやっぱり RPG としてのストーリーの評価の高さというところもあって本当にたくさんの人に遊んでいただけるように特にソロコンテンツ、それからソロでプレイすること、少人数で遊べるといったあたりのシステム開発にとにかく注力してきたタイミングでもあります。
And of course, we have a lot of people who enjoyed the story, and thankfully we had some really great acclaim about our story being very robust for an RPG, and a lot of people were able to join Final Fantasy XIV. And with this expansion, we kind of focused in on solo content, those that can be enjoyed with either one person or a small group of people.
皆さんも辛抱強く待っていただいたおかげで。
I remember getting to Shadowbringers when I first started playing the game, and I was a solo player, and I had no idea that you weren't supposed to queue for EXs, like in the duty finder. I didn't know you were supposed to party finder them. So I remember one day I think I was sitting in queue trying to queue into like Diamond Weapon EX for like 2 fucking hours, and I was like, why is my thing not popping? And I remember I went to like the what's that thing called? The Sprout chat. And I was like, I've been in queue for something for 2 hours. When's it gonna pop? And they're like, oh, what are you in queue for? And I was like, I'm in queue for Hades EX. They're like, oh, you need to duty. You need to like party finder that. And I was like, what the fuck is party finder? What is that? Because like, the game doesn't really teach you what PF is. So if you're someone who's just a solo player who's only been like doing the MSQ, doing side content, you play alone, you've queued for everything, and then you get to the higher end content, you start getting to the EXs and the Savages, and you just don't know that you're not supposed to just queue for it. It was weird. It was so weird to me.
時点からエンドウォーカーのラスト、まあそれを超えてなおストーリーに関わるインスタンスダンジョンは全てコンテンツサポーターで、ソロでクリアできるというところまでようやくたどり着くことができました。
And so, of course, we implemented the duty support system so that players who want to enjoy the story and the encounters that are associated with it can go into these different dungeons by yourself. And we were able to backtrack and support content or duty support from ARR all the way to Endwalker.
まあ世の中、ありがとうございます。
Oh, thank you, thank you.
世の中不思議なもので。やっぱりこう
I think one of my best memories from being new to the game. So like I said, I started May in 2021. I remember when I was doing Titan, it was the 4-man Titan fight. So I think is that just normal Titan? Or it might have been Titan hard. But I remember our tank left, and none of us in the party knew that we could just like leave, or we could wait for another tank to come fill. So me being the little white mage I was, I healed the fight and I kept my DPS alive with no tank. And I remember going to the friend that introduced me to the game and being so ecstatic about that. I was like, dude, I'm getting so good at healer. I just healed Titan without a tank and no one died. I was like running around. I was like casting my heals non-stop and we beat the boss and we had no tank. I'm getting so good at the game. I remember me being so excited over that. And that was just, oh my God. Come a long way since then.
オンラインゲーム MMORPG 人と関わって遊ぶのが嫌だということでなかなか
Yes, I put myself in healer
14
jail.
はじめとする MMO を手に取ってくださらない方というのも非常に多いです。
It is kind of curious because even if this is an online game where typically it's necessary for people to work with other players to play, there are certain people who hesitate because they don't want that sort of interaction with other players.
Yeah,
and
or
so
they
that's
have
why they
anxiety.
didn't try Final Fantasy XIV.
ただ今回こういったソロ対応とかをやってくることによってじゃあ遊んでみようかな、そしてゲームへ訪れてくださって皆さんの本当に温かいコミュニティの力に触れてどんどん光の戦士たち増えてそして育っていってるのを実感します。
That said, with content duty support, of course that also helped, but then the community welcomed these new peoples and they were able to support them through their growth, and I think we were able to grow in numbers of our Warrior of Light, so I think that's also a great step forward as well.
そしてそれらの状況を受けて、次に我々が目指していくのが新たな拡張パッケージとなります。
So with all that said, now we're striving for the future, which leads us to our next expansion.
Okay, now this is the dawntrail stuff. I'm really excited. I haven't seen anything from PAX yet about dawntrail, except for the
こちら
release date.
ファイナルファンタジー
That's all I've
14と
seen.
しては 7.0 と呼んでます。
So,
I'm so
on
excited.
the Final Fantasy XIV team internally, we call this 7.0.
サマー2024って書いてあるね。
We say summer 2024.
おい、リリースデートまだ出ないのか。
And I know people are saying, well, when are we going to find out about the release date?
大丈夫、もうちょっと後で話すから。
Don't worry, we will talk about it just later in the presentation.
Aw, of course they do that. Of course they did that, right?
さあ、この 7.0 ドントレイルから、さらにこの先10年間またいろんなチャレンジを皆さんと一緒にしていこうと思います。
So of course, this 7.0, aka Dawn Trail, is our next challenge in the 10 years moving forward.
その
I'm so
10
excited
年
for Dawn
次の
Trail.
10年に際して我々が、まず最初にチャレンジしていこうと思っていることがこちらです。
So one of the first challenges we want to take on for the next 10 years is going to be this.
これまで
Oh,
まあ
no,
6
that's
年
good. I've talked about this before on stream. I've said this to you guys a lot. MMOs like really need to evolve as a genre or they're just going to die out. Like I think we were talking about this last week. I was literally sitting there and I was like, they really need to evolve as a genre because not a lot of people are starting the game now. There are not a lot of people, like specifically, there are not a lot of people my age, like younger generations, like younger people just aren't interested in MMORPGs because they don't have like stuff that entices them, I guess. So I really hope they like make stuff that maybe encourages more like younger players to start playing the game. That would be cool. That would be really nice to see. I don't think they can evolve. I mean, I think they can. It's gonna be difficult. I think it'll be. Where's the battle pass? Like, look, let's take World of Warcraft for example. They literally implemented a fucking battle royale system to their game. That's an insanely smart thing to do. Adding Plunderstorm to WoW, super fucking smart because it's gonna make the people who like love Fortnite and like Warzone maybe interested in trying out WoW, and then it might make people try WoW for the battle royale experience, but then they start playing the game for the raiding experience. So stuff like that is super smart.
06.X シリーズで、たくさんの カジュアルプレイヤー、ソロプレイヤーた
Harlock,
ちを迎
that
え
is
る
something
準
they
備と
actually talked about. They are going to allow players to skip the MSQ, like for free and like be leveled up. So they aren't going to force players to do, the MSQ anymore. I think I read a tweet about this a while ago. Do not quote me on this. I'd have to like find that.
というのができましたので、ここからは改めて MMORPG としてさらに高みを目指して進化にチャレンジをしていこうと思います。
So, of course, throughout 6.0 Endwalker, through the 6.x patch series, we were making different preparations to welcome in those more casual-leaning players or people who wanted to enjoy content by themselves, solo. So, with dawntrail, we want to aim for evolving as an MMORPG.
Good, that's good.
さあ、ではじゃあ具体的にどういうことなのというのをざっくりコンセプト方針をお話ししていきます。
So I would like to go through what we're thinking about specifically in a sort of like an overview of our concept.
まずその一つ目、マルチプレイという部分を
Sorry,
さ
I
ら
need to talk
に
about this. I don't think cutting out ARR is necessarily a smart idea because there is a lot of story in ARR. I am personally someone who, when I started playing this game, I played the game for the story. In like through and through, I am an MSQ enjoyer. I took my sweet I started playing a little under 7 months before dawntrail came out, before Endwalker came out, and in those 7 months, I think it took me 250 to 300 hours to get through the MSQ because I did a lot of the content. I did all the story stuff. I mean, okay, I'm gonna be real. I did skip a lot of post ARR, but then I watched YouTube recap videos on it because a lot of post ARR was just it was insufferably boring. It sucked. But I liked ARR. I liked base ARR. Post ARR was it was miserable. Holy shit. I watched all of Heaven's Ward, all of Stormblood, all of Shadowbringers. Like, oh my god, dude, there are so many cutscenes in Shadowbringers that are just engraved in my brain. Sometimes I'll be laying in my bed and I'll just be thinking of some of the cutscenes, like especially the Arbert Seto cutscene. I'll just be laying in my bed thinking about them and I'm like, man, what the fuck? Why would they do that? Like, why would they put that in the game? That cutscene is actual mental abuse. What's your question, Dong Lover 69? I can't say your name without laughing. What is your question? But no, I think a story skip, I don't think it's necessarily a bad thing because a lot of people play Final Fantasy XIV for a lot of different reasons. I started playing the game honestly just because a friend told me about the game. They told me to just give the game a try, and then the MSQ is what got me hooked. Raiding is what's making me stay. I definitely think if I didn't raid in Final Fantasy XIV, I would 100% just be an MSQ enjoyer. I'd come back for the MSQ, leave when it was gone. But raiding is seriously what has made me stay. And also, now my stream is what's making me stay because you guys are new. Which is really crazy. I'm so excited to do the first expansion as a streamer.
強化していこうと思います。
So of course, we would like to focus in on multiplayer aspect as one of those things.
それに際してラージスケール多人数で遊べると。
I can't wait to play with you guys.
So with that, we would like to refine or to tackle on more large-scale duties.
エウレカやボズヤに続く、バトル系の大型の探索コンテンツというのの開発もすでにスタートしています。
So content that kind of are in the same vein of Eureka or Bosnia is going to be in the works.
Good. I love that stuff. Did I get a new camera? No.
まあこの辺りもちろんまだ公表してないコンテンツというのも開発、スタートしてたりはする。
Like people still do Delubia and Regane Savage and Normal and oh god, what's that Eureka one called again? The Baldessian Arsenal. People still do that stuff and run events for that content like almost every single day because a lot of people like genuinely enjoy that stuff. I think I was one of the people that was pretty upset and disappointed that Endwalker didn't have something like Eureka or Baja. I was really looking forward, and they replaced it with a solo duty like Island Sanctuary, which isn't really, you can't replace this huge open world zone with like a single player island sanctuary Animal Crossing farming type deal. I feel like that upset a lot of people, me included. And another thing about this expansion that really upset me was the relic. I think, but some people don't want to do the grind. But I just wish there was a different way to farm the relics. I wish they would have let you to do, you could have chosen the way you wanted to do it. It could either be tomes or like farming fates or farming certain things, right? Not only tomes. Yeah, it feels like a future-proofing expansion.
るんですが、とにかくファイナルファンタジー14というゲーム、たくさんの価値観のプレイヤーに遊んでいただけているその力を今回 7.0 以降 7.1、7.2 でこうみんなで遊ぶっていうことをさらに突き詰めていけたらなと思ってます。
And so there are lots of content we're trying to develop right now, some of them that may not be mentioned here today in today's presentation, but we understand that there are a lot of different values that people hold as they are playing Final Fantasy XIV. So we want to also focus in on large-scale content, multiplayer content, as we go through 7.1 and 2 and beyond.
まあもちろんその 6.x シリーズでね、バリアントダンジョンみたいな少人数で遊ぶコンテンツっていうのもそのシステム開発しっかりできましたので、それらをやらないというわけじゃなくて、そういったコンテンツもやりながらさらにラージスケールのコンテンツも作っていきます。
Of course, we're not neglecting the solo or smaller scale content, like the variant dungeons. We will continue to update that.
Okay, good.
And so it's going to be more in parallel. We're going to have the smaller scale content versus the large participating content as well.
そしてもう一つ重要なポイントがこちらです。
And another important element that I want to cover is this.
遊びごたえの強化というのにちょっと改めて意識的に取り組んでいきたいなと思ってます。
So of course, a more fulfilling gaming experience is how we worded it, but we want to kind of focus in on this as well.
例えば、まあ本当に世界中たくさんのプレイヤーの方のフィードバックから、まあ我々こうじゃあこの遊び応えって何かっていうと、こうボスのターゲットサークルがやけくそにこうでかくなっていったりとか。
So, for example, this is one of the many feedback that we have received that kind of relates to that fulfilling gaming experience. For example, the target circle of your enemy, the hitbox, is ridiculously large at this point.
Are they making it smaller?
あとこうギミックの内容に関してもちょっと似たようなものが増えてきて、実際にプレイしていてもちょっとまたこのパターンなのかとか。まあもちろん、
like P9S's hitbox
経験が積みやすいから楽ではあるんですけど、実際にちょっと自分でプレイしてても眠くなってくるなっていうのがあったりしてます今。
And in terms of battle mechanics, they tend to be very similar content to content. And some people might feel that it's very repetitive, feels like a pattern almost. And of course, it might help if you are trying to build your gameplay experience and try to get a hang of it. But for some players, me included, I kind of get sleepy because it kind of gets routine and mundane.
It does. I think that's one of the main reasons why a lot of people don't really like this Savage tier in specific, because it's kind of just the same thing over and 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 over again. That's why that's why I think so many people, myself included, just don't like this raid tier. There's so much stuff that's just so fucking repetitive.
The
same end again and again.
もうちょっとエキサイトメントを高めていきたいと思います。
You know, we rarely fall asleep when we're playing games if we're really into it, but then sometimes when I get too tired, it's like, oh, okay, I'm gonna... So I'm trying to see if I can spice it up a little, bring the excitement back.
さあ、ここで注意点です。
That said, I do want to advise you.
こういう話をすると、やばい、吉田また難易度を上げようとしてるって思う方たくさんいらっしゃいます。
When I talk about something like this, I know some people might get a knee-jerk reaction of, oh no, Yoshida is going to make everything difficult again.
No, I don't think he will. Someone said Evilise.
まあ 基本的にね、
I think that person in the fucking audience that said that they need to make alliance raids harder. Aglia was super fun on release, but holy shit, Euphorsign and whatever the fuck the new one is. What is the new one called? You got Euphorsign and Aglia, Thalia, and Euphorsign. Aglia was super good on release. Euphorsign and Thalia were just, after the first run, I quite literally never wanted to do it again. I did the most recent 24-man. I think I did that one 3 times the day it came out. I remember doing it the 3rd time and I was like, dude, this is so fucking easy. Like, oh my god. They need to make stuff a little bit more difficult. You need, like, okay, you know that mechanic in Thalia where you're on that guy's hand? So many people had no fucking idea what was going on, and you would have, like, alliances at a time die. People, like, entire alliances getting knocked off the map. That shit was awesome. Even the first boss, everyone fucked up. People died on scales a lot. Like, Aglia was great. It was great. And I really wish I think that they need to make alliance raids a little bit more difficult.
で皆さんを困らせたいっていうわけじゃない。もっともっと興奮してもらうためにもっともっと新しいギミック、オリジナリティのあるものっていうのを作っていきたいと、そういう意思表明だと思ってください。
And so, for the most part, we're not trying to trouble people. We're
The new raids were really well
trying
designed,
not
yes.
to make your lives difficult. It's just we want to bring a little bit more uniqueness, something that is new and original into these battles. So, rest assured.
まあちょっと日本語なので難しいかもしれないですけど。
Let me give you my perspective. I don't think they should make the casual content any more difficult. Like everything that's tied to the MSQ, I think should stay the difficulty level that it already is. But I think everything that is not tied to the MSQ, like trials and alliance raids, need to be a little bit more difficult because that stuff is not MSQ. It's not main scenario. It's not the story. It's side content. Side content needs to be a little bit more difficult. MSQ content should remain the same difficulty. That's what I think. Not really endgame stuff, but optional stuff.
工夫する余地、自分だからこれができたみたいな遊び応えっていうところをちゃんと作っていきたいというふうに思ってます。
So in the Japanese word, there's this word kufu, which loosely translates to kind of thinking with your own mind and kind of figuring it out. So I think we want to encourage players to build your own strategies, kind of talk to each other in your party to strategize and kind of encourage that kind of gameplay also.
I think that's a good idea, but it could get pretty repetitive. I don't think that'd be smart for casual stuff. I never said weed out the trash players. I never said that. I never said weed out the trash players. I just said I just think side content should be a little bit more difficult. I never said weed out the trash players. You're taking my words out of context, man.
チャレンジをさらにこうなんだろう、リスクも取りながらやっていこうと思うので、まあ時折失敗してね、皆さんに怒られることもあるかもしれませんが、だんだん慣れてきてしまった14を今一度エキサイト
Okay, you know what? Fine. I'll expand on my point a little bit more. When I said make side content a little bit more difficult, I mean make it more difficult in the sense that it isn't something that you're just gonna figure out on your first try. I want it to be something that you need to do it a few times to get it right. In Aglia, you had to do the bosses like a few times to get the hang of it. And I guess one really good example of like a harder boss fight was Arya Endsinger was it was like reasonably difficult for a final trial. It was, and what one, Stormblood, Shinryu? What's that one with that really big platform that like tiles would die and he would cleave the map and like push people off? That was Shinryu. Shinryu was a really good trial. I remember when I first did Shinryu, I ate shit to that non-stop. I had no idea what was going on. You couldn't lose to Xenos? Yeah, but it takes a while. Endsinger was a very good. Endsinger and Shinryu are probably my favorite trials from the game. Thank you for the 1 year, Simple. I appreciate it.
ように、さらに拡大させていこうというのが当面の目標になります。
And so, of course, we would love to take challenges. I would like for my developers to be able to take on challenges, take risks in creating their content. And, of course, we may screw up. We may have a misstep, and we might be up here apologizing to our players once again. But, you know, we don't want things to be mundane. We want you guys to be excited as you play Final Fantasy XIV.
まあこうなるとジョブはどうなるのかっていう心配がきっと
I think
ある
that's
と思う
good
んです
because
が
I feel like a lot of people might share the same sentiment as there's just I think me alongside a lot of other players just were not looking forward to the new trials because after seeing how easy they made them, like, oh my god, Rubicante was that was a snooze fest. Golbez had good music. Wait, no, which was the new one? Zeromus has good music. Golbez was a good trial, yes. The Golbez was actually decently difficult for an EX. Yeah, no. It was good. I liked it.
And I'm sure with this kind of talk, it might beg the question, like, well, so what's going to happen to the different jobs and their mechanics?
まあジョブに関してはせっかく節目のねレベル100が来るので今何かを大きくめちゃくちゃバトルメカニクスも含めていじるってことは 7.0、7.X シリーズではしません。今の延長線上にちゃんとアップデートを行います。
So, because we are reaching a sort of milestone level cap, which is level 100, it's not we don't intend to upset everything again. We want to just continue updating the different jobs and kind of add on to what we already have set up throughout the 7.0 and 7.X series.
まあまずはコンテンツ側のねよりエキサイトメントを高めるというのを 7.1、7.2、7.3 と徐々にねこうやっていこうと思いますのでよろしくお願いします。
So, of course, we're going to be focusing on the content itself and the encounters throughout 7.1, 2, and 3 to bring back that sort of excitement.
まあ遊び応えとかチャレンジ増やすのいいけどなんかちょっとメリットもうちょっとくれよっていうお声あると思います。
And so we talked about how we're going to bring back excitement to the content itself, but you know, well, what's in it for me?
我々今取り組んでいるのがプレイヤーの皆さんに獲得していただけるリワードというものを大幅に増やしていこうというワークフローを作り始めてます。
So with that, we are looking into sort of improving the rewards so that, yeah, we can sort of bolster that aspect of it.
まあこれまで ARR からここに至るまでなかなかこの1パッチあたりのリワード例えば装備ギアとかもっとたくさんのマウントとかなかなかここまで増やせないで来れたんですがいよいよここから先コンテンツの幅も量もかなり増えましたので皆さんにお届けする報酬というのもさらに量を増やしていこうと思ってます。
And so with the different expansions throughout, since we released ARR up to this point, we were unable to increase the number of rewards per patch that we give in terms of gear or mounts. And so looking to the future and just considering how wide and broad we have become with the different content that we offer, we would like to look into increasing the amount of rewards that we are providing our players.
7.1 から徐々に増やしていく今計画になっていておおよそ 7.3 ぐらいの時には今の1パッチあたりの報酬が 1.5 倍ぐらいまで増やせるんじゃないかなと思います。
So the plans are in place. So our goal is that by patch 7.3-ish, we would have maybe 1.5 times more compared to current.
Okay. That sounds pretty decent.
まあたくさんの皆さんから、たくさんね利益もいただいてますので、さらに還元してとにかく皆さんと一緒にさらにこう14盛り上げて
I think 450 tomes a week is just unbelievably low because I think the fact that you can realistically only gear up one job from the beginning of like Savage release to Ultimate release, you can only realistically gear up one job. That's ridiculous. I think you should be at minimum be able to gear up at least 2 jobs going into the Ultimate like 8 weeks after Savage comes out. Like only one job is pretty ridiculous. You're forced to pick one job, and then if your job isn't like really viable in the Ultimate, you're kind of fucked because you aren't going to have BIS on any other job. So I think increasing the rewards is a super good idea if they are going to still keep Ultimate being 8 weeks after the Savage drop. So that's good. I like that because I would very much like to be able to gear up all my healers instead of just forced to pick one.
行こうと思いますので、どうぞよろしくお願いします。
So with your subscriptions and just continuing to stay with us, we have collected from you, so we want to give back. So we want to continue looking into things like this.
さあそれらのスタートとなるドーントレイル、この内容、皆さんもうご存知だとは思うんですが、改めてざっとだけね中身確認しておきましょう。
So dawntrail, I know we've announced many information, but just wanted to do a very quick recap of what we've already talked about.
新しいジョブ、バイパーとピクトマンサー実装されますね。
Of course, 2 new jobs, Viper and Pictomancer.
Hell yeah. Can't wait to be in healer
レ
jail
ベルキャ
though.
ップもついにレベル100に到達、節目になりますね。
Viper's a new melee job.
And level cap will be increased to level 100, which is sort of a milestone for us.
Hell yeah.
ただそろそろ我々 8.0 のことも考えなきゃいけないので、110にするのか120にするのか150にするのか、一旦全部50に戻そうか、いろんなことを話し合い始めてます。
That said, we also have to start looking into what should we do for 8.0, and do we raise it just another 10 levels, 20 levels, 50 levels? Or do we just reset everything and go back to 50?
How would that work out?
でもそれぐらいやっぱ長期計画を持ってね、さらにこの先10年20年と続けていきたいので、いろんなことをもうすでに計画をし始めてます。
That said, jokes aside, we are looking into a
Oh,
long-term
prestige.
plan. That's why we're trying to also look at what would it look like 10 years, 20 years from now.
そしてありがとうございます。
Oh, thank you.
そして改めてですね XBOX ファンの皆さんに大変お待たせしましたが、 XBOX でもつい先日ですね、正式ローンチをすることができました。
And of course, Xbox players, thank you so much for your patience. We were able to release the
I love
Xbox
seeing all the
version
new
of Final Fantasy
sprouts.
XIV.
Seeing all the new sprouts has been awesome. And helping them out in dungeons.
さらに、当然新しいエリア多数ありますし、新しい敵も多数出てきます。そして多数のダンジョン、新しいものを用意されてます。
And of course, we can't forget the new areas, new threats, new dungeons we have prepared for you.
当然新しいレイドも始まりますし、先ほどお話ししたように、プレイヤーみんなで遊ぶというコンセプトで、さらにねコスモエクスプローラー、ちょっと惑星をね皆さんで開拓探索してもらうみたいなコンテンツ、いよいよかなり仕様も固まって、制作がスタートできそうな状態になってます。
And so, of course, we have the new raid that's going to be coming. And then as for the large-scale content where everybody can participate would be the Cosmic Explorer, where you're on a planet trying to explore
excited to do that
and
with you
develop.
guys.
So I think we have our systems kind of drafted in place, and so we are getting ready for production on that.
Nice. Cool.
そして
We're like halfway.
こんなさまざまなチャレンジと要素を詰め込んだ、ファイナルファンタジー、14 7.0 の16 Don't Trail.
So of course, with a lot of challenges that we're taking for the new Final Fantasy XIV expansion, not 16, 7.0.
Oh. There it is. There it is. Okay.
大変長らくお待たせいたしましたが、ファイナルファンタジー14、ドントレイル6月28日アーリーアクセススタート、そして7月2日正式発売という形で、今最終調整を、最後のね開発の追い込みをやっているところです。
So thank you so much for your patience. I know we waited for a long time to announce this, but we are happy to say that we are planning to start early access on June 28th and official release on July 2nd, and we're making our final adjustments on those.
Ugh. That means we have 3 months to do a lot of stuff on stream. I don't think that's enough time. Oh.
アーリーアクセス本当はもう1週間前にしたかったんですけど
So with this early access start date, we actually wanted to start it a week earlier.
エルデンリング DLC まあ皆さんもエルデンリングの、ね、DLC やりたいでしょうから
We figured everybody would be interested in playing the Elden Ring DLC.
Yeah, and you want to know another thing a lot of us are interested in, Mr. Yoshibi? A lot of us are interested in going to the Distant World concerts that you have scheduled at the same fucking week that Dawntrail comes out. So now I have to sell my tickets and cancel my trip.
1週間です
I'll give you 1 week.
It's okay though.
ですので1週間どっぷりエルデンリングの DLC 楽しんだらもうそのままサマーバケーションへ突入してください
So I'll give you 1 week to enjoy Elden Ring DLC and then just go into your summer vacation into Dawntrail.
Hell yeah.
言っときますけど決して僕がやりたいからずらしたわけじゃないですからね
Just want to make it clear, it's not because I want to play Elden Ring DLC and then play Dawntrail.
Sure.
いやもちろん楽しみです
Sure.
Although I am looking forward to it.
さあでは、リリース日
Just
それからアーリーアクセスの日
to be
付を発表したので
clear, I don't want- I'm not
ちょっとコレ
delaying
ク
it
ター
just
ズエ
so
ディション
I
を
can
紹介させていただきます
Here.
So because we have discussed the release date, I would like to touch upon the collector's edition.
Ooh, okay, I want to see what it has.
So if we could have the,
持ってきて
we want to show the content of what the physical collector's edition entails.
Oh, there's a box. Ooh, it's a nice and shiny box. Ooh. I'm sorry, my stream crashed.
まずコレクターズエディションまあここに全部物理でね、持ってきたんですけど今回、フィギュアがまたついてます、今回バイパーの、光の戦士、ハイクオリティフィギュアになっております
Okay, so getting into the contents of the physical collector's edition. As you can see, we have our high quality Viper figure.
I really like the figurine. You know, the stream
そして冒
crashed.
険には
My
欠かせ
stream
ない
crashed right as I went to go grab my Final Fantasy 16 figurine and say something along the lines of, I'm really excited to have another statue to go beside this and my my Zodiac Highland statue that should be getting here. Hopefully it'll be here by the time my trip is over. I really like the statue. This statue's awesome. Yeah, those statues are nice. I like how everyone's still acting like the stream's dead. Just refresh. Press F5.
今回、新たなファイナルファンタジー14のマップですね
Oh, that'll be nice.
Yes, we can't forget our map of the realm.
そしてちょっと待ってくださいね
Hold on. Let me neatly put this away.
I really like that.
そして、光の戦士たち
So of course, it is literally a journal, so you can note down your adventures in this book.
Giant cow.
そして続いてがですねこちら
What was that?
何かというとちょっと古風な、
Ooh.
ペン入れになってます
And so
Stop.
this, it's actually sort of like a vintage-looking pen case.
かなりこだわっ
Ooh.
てね作りましたので、まあ、冒険者感というのを大事にしながら作ってます
But yeah, we were really meticulous about the design of this pen case, kind of
That's nice.
replicating that feeling of an adventurer taking his sort of writing utensils and storing it into this kind of envelope.
I like it.
で、まあこう巻いてですよ。
You can roll it up
巻いてですよ。
and roll it up.
まあこれ
And
で
then
こう。
tie it up. Nice.
And it has a string that you can close it with.
まあなのでペンだけじゃなくてね、いろんなものを収納してね、こうバッグに持ち運びやすいように、なってます。
So of course, you can utilize this for not just pens, but any sort of stick-like objects.
You put your
to put in
paintbrushes
there.
in there.
そしてちょっと待ってくださいね。手袋をした方がいい
Actually,
か
this
な。
one we might want to wear gloves, or do we?
もちろんこの天野先生のね、最新書き下ろしのドントレールのとこの特装ボックスついてきます。
Of course, we haven't forgotten the decorative art box featuring the
shiny.
wonderful artwork of
That is a nice
Mr.
box.
Yoshitaka Amano.
さあじゃあまあコレクターズエディションがねこんな感じになってます。
This is our collector's edition physical items.
I really want to get it.
まあ今紹介した内容一覧になっておりますので、ぜひさあコレクターズエディション物理どうしよう
As
か
I
なと
was
悩んでい
saying,
ただ
I
ければ
think
と
the
思いま
collector's
す。
edition
So,
looks
and this is a
very
list of the
nice.
physical items
And I
that will be
want it.
included in the collector's edition.
Restart the
if
rat.
you could, please consider pre-ordering this. But yeah, your consideration would be definitely appreciated.
ありがとうございます。 お
I plan. Okay, so here's the thing about this collector's edition thing, though. The sale for these these go on sale as I'm in a fucking airplane. So I'm a bit worried that I won't be able to actually purchase it on the airplane. So I really hope they aren't sold out by the time I land. I really hope they aren't sold out because I want to order one for myself, and I'm gonna order one for my sister because her birthday is a couple days before Dawntrail comes out, and she's been playing Final Fantasy since Heaven's Ward.
ちょっと聞いてみようかな。ちなみに
That's the pilot to do me a
ARR から
solid.
全部のコレクターズエディション持ってるぞっていう方いらっしゃいますか？
Just out of curiosity, who here has collected all of the collector's editions since ARR?
すごーい。
I would have.
ありがとうございます。
Oh my gosh!
There's that one stick.
欲しい。面白いのが
One
ね、
guy.
スクエニのスタッフも手を挙げてるのがちょっと面白い。
I just noticed that some of our Square Enix staff also raised their hands. Which is very interesting.
個人的に買ってくれてありがとうね。
Thank you so much for your purchase.
さあここまでちょっと物理、アイテムの紹介をしましたので、ここからは、デジタルのコレクターズエディションのアイテムをご紹介したいと思います。
Okay, so we went over the physical items in the collector's edition. Next, I would like to talk about the digital items.
その前に、
Oh, okay.
それに関係する動画をちょっと短いですけどご
I
覧い
didn't
た
know
だこ
we
うと
get
思い
digital
ます。
stuff.
So in relation to that, we brought a short video to show you. Please roll video.
Roll the dice. Ooh. Oh shit! I'm getting PTSD from this music. Oh, that's nice. That's nice. That's a pre-order. Is that a pre-order exclusive or a that's a collector's edition exclusive? Sorry. Oh, you can get garnet and a chocobo brush. Ooh.
今ご覧いただいたのが、デジタルのコレクターズエディションインゲームアイテム、マウントのアークとなります。
So yeah, the video that you've seen, it's pretty self-explanatory, but one of the digital items that you can receive in the collector's edition is the Arc mount.
Yeah, I played FF9.
そしてその後で完成上がったのはきっとガーネットのミニオンがついてくるからかなと思います。
And then I'm sure people had cheered for that Garnet minion too.
Hell yeah.
そして武器の方は、新しく追加となるピクトマンサーの、武器である筆、そのチョコボの筆と、もう筆すでに用意してくれてる人いる。
So of course, with the Pictomancer being implemented, the glam weapon is going to be the Chocobo's brush. And I see in the audience somebody already has a Pictomancer brush.
すごい。
That's
もう
amazing.
完璧にクールさ
Man,
んで
I wish the camera would show us.
Oh, thank you. Perfect.
こちらがデジタルアイテムのコレクターズエディションですので、ちょっとここで SKU の説明だけ簡単にしておきます。
So again, these are the digital items, but we do have a kind of complex sort of SKU lineup. So allow me to explain.
基本的にはエンドウォーカーと同じなんですが、ちょっとおさらいしておきましょう。
So the setup is just like our last expansion, Endwalker, but just wanted to
Okay,
go
I
over
want to get
this
the
really
collector's
quickly.
edition.
まず Windows それから Mac、Steam を除く Windows と Mac 版でプレイされている方で、コレクターズエディションを買うぞという方は、一番上のコレクターズエディションを買っていただければゲームもついてくるし、さっきご紹介した物理アイテムもついてくるし、今ご紹介し
Are
た
any
イ
of
ン
you
ゲーム
guys
アイ
going
テ
to get
ム
the
もつい
collector's
てきます。
edition?
So if you are playing on a Windows or Mac, not Steam, I'm sorry, but that would be the top row where you see that collector's edition. This is
try?
the whole
Yes.
bundle
Good,
where
good,
the game, the expansion, the physical goods, and the in-game items come in one package.
そしてプレイステーション4、プレイステーション5、Xbox、そして Steam でプレイされてる方で、さっきご紹介した物理の、コレクターズ購入されたい方
I'm
は
gonna see if I can
グッ
order
ズ
the
だけのボックスという
collector's
のがあるので
while I'm on the
それ
plane.
とこの下にあるデジタルコレクターズエディションを購入していただければどっちも手に入るようになってます。
So if you are playing on a PS4, PS5, Xbox Series X or S, or Steam, so we have the physical items packaged by themselves as a collector's box, and then the digital items would be bundled into the digital collector's edition.
そしてもういいんだと物理はいいんだと
yeah,
マウン
when you
トア
buy
ー
the
クを
collector's
早
edition,
く
it should
よ
give
こ
you
せ
a
という
code
方
for the
は
game,
このデ
right?
ジタルコレクターズエディ
I
ショ
guess,
ンを買
okay,
っていただければ大丈夫
this
で
is
す。
one thing that I'm a bit worried about though. If I buy the collector's edition, it's probably not going to get, okay, never mind, wait. Would you get emailed the codes or would the codes be like in the box? Should be email? You get the code early? Okay, because I don't want to, because like I know for Final Fantasy 16, you actually got the digital game, like you got the physical game, and my collector's edition didn't come in until like 4 days after the game came out. Should be an email? Okay, good.
And if you just want the digital items, you don't care about the physical items, just give me the ARC mount, then you can go for the digital
We go live at
collector's
the same
edition.
time worldwide, yes.
そして最後
It
スタンダー
should
ドエディショ
be,
ン何
dawntrail
もつ
should
いてこない
release at 5 a.m. Eastern Daylight Time, because we're in Daylight Savings. So it should be EDT, I should say. Should be 5 a.m. So it's gonna be fucking 3 a.m. for me when it comes out. Oh, fuck me.
ノーマルのパッケージです。
And then finally, we have our standard edition. This is just the expansion.
多分この会場にいる方と
EU friendly
配信をご覧
stream.
の皆様にはスタンダードエディションは多分関係ないです。
And so for those people who are enthused about our collector's edition, I think the standard edition will not really pertain to you.
さあというわけで、
Dawnstream
ちょっとね複雑に SKU になっていますがこれら改めて、ウェブサイトの方でも詳細説明されますので、ご確認いただければと思います。
So yeah, I understand it's a bit complicated, so we will be having a website set up so that it explains the different lineups. So if you wanted to get more details, we encourage you to look at that page.
あと
Oh,
1
yeah.
個注意点ですが「ファイナルファンタジー14」はエンドウォーカーからもう一切物理パッケージを作っていないので、お店に行ってもドントレール売ってないのでご注意ください。
And another point of caution, and you may be familiar with this, since Endwalker, we have not produced a physical disc version of the game or the expansion itself. So please be warned, if you go into like a game retailer, you will not find the standard edition disc there anymore. It's all digital download only.
Okay.
はい忘れないようにしておいてく
Good
だ
night,
さい。
Okay.
では 7.0
I like having
グラフィッ
discs.
クスのアップデートを行うということで、特に皆さんの環境を、アップグレードというかね必須動作環境等々変わってますので改めてちょっとご紹介させてください。
So of course, with the different updates that we're making, including the graphical update, I'm afraid we will have to adjust the system requirements for your platform.
これまでにお話ししてきた部分とちょっと一箇所だけ変更をさせていただけると助かります。
Which is the singular point on this chart of system requirements.
That's a pretty big increase.
Windows の環境で CPU、必須動作環境の中に Intel Core i7 の6700というふうに表記させていただいてたんですが、ここを7700にちょっと変更させてください。
My GPU is fine.
So originally on the Windows platform, the minimum system requirements indicated Intel Core i7 6700 series or higher. We are going to be bumping it up to require the 7700 series.
なぜかというと、この6700という CPU と特定のグラフィックスボードの組み合わせの時、極端にパフォーマンスが落ちるっていう非常にそのグラフィックスカードと CPU の相性の悪さみたいなのが発見されたので、あともう一つ6700が昨年で Windows のサポートが終了するっていうのが発表されたこともあって、この先10年さらにということを考えるんであれば7700とさせていただいた方が分かりやすいのかなというふうになってます。おそらく皆さん大丈夫だと思うので、ここだけご注意ください。
So there are a couple of reasons why we had to bump this up. One is because with some combinations, the CPU and the graphics board seems to have seen issues in performance. So that's one reason. And then it seems there was an announcement that the 6700 will no longer be supported on the Windows platform. And it was announced last year that that support was ending. So we figured that it was better to bump it up so that we'll have a supported CPU. So I'm hoping that everybody is okay on their machines, but just in case, you might want to double check your CPU.
そしてすごいちょっと重要なんですけど、HDD ハードディスクの容量はできるだけたくさん開けておいてください。
And another thing, the HDD available disk space. I hope you are able to secure enough space for the game to be downloaded onto your machine.
今回グラフィックスアップデートによって非常に高解度のテクスチャーとかがこれまでにリリースしてきたアイテム全部にどんどんかかっていくので、ちょっとパッチサイズ、ゲームサイズ非常に大きくなりますので、ぜひご注意ください。
With the graphical updates, a lot of high-res materials will need to be downloaded into the game, and so the patch size, the expansion size, will be quite big. So please be advised.
そしてお待たせしました、こちらが Mac 版の、必要動作環境となっております。 Mac でプレイされている方もですね、ぜひこちら、ウェブサイトの方にもしっかり載せますのでご確認いただければと思います。
And of course, for those of you who play on the Mac platform, we have updated the requirements on that as well. Again, we will have a website available to reference for these different details of your machine specs.
では
I guess the one good thing about this game not really having that many big requirements is that my laptops have always been able to run it, but
プレオーダーいつからだというお話をさせていただきます。
Okay, so we announced the early access and release dates, so let's go into pre-ordering the expansion.
Okay.
まずは当然プリオーダーしたら何がもらえるのかからいきます。
And of course, we'd like to talk about the bonus items that you will receive when you pre-order.
Oh, you get Zidane. Ooh.
プリオーダー予約をしていただくとミニオンジタンとそれからアクセサリーアーゼマイヤリングという新しいアイテム、装備アイテムですね、皆さんにお届けします。
So, of course, when you pre-order, these are the in-game items that you would receive: a Zidane minion and then an Azuma earring.
ここまでやたらと
I can't wait to be in Q1 stream and then I'm just sitting there going crazy.
言わないでおきます。
You may have noticed a lot of Final Fantasy IX references here, but the reason is a secret.
こちらのアーゼマイヤリングに関しては、レベル90
I'll do simulcasting when I can. I need to get a third monitor.
アップしますし、プレイヤーのジョブのレベル、クラスのレベルが上がれば性能も自動的に上がっていくという、アイテムになっていますので、レベリングに非常に最適になってます。
So of course, with the Azuma earrings, this is similar to the last pre-order
It's
bonus,
an EXP
but
boost.
whenever you defeat an enemy, the experience points that you receive will have a 30% boost. And then the stats on the accessory itself will also kind of scale as your player is
Yeah, okay,
leveling
good.
your character. So it does become quite advantageous when you're trying to level your character.
はい、そしてプレオーダーの特典としてアーリーアクセスの権利が皆さんに付与されます。
So of course, if you pre-order the expansion, you will have early access.
でちょっと忘れないでくださいね。今回の拡張が初めての14の拡張っていう方もいらっしゃると思うんで。
Early access queues are going to be worse than actual like release queues because so many people are going to pre-order this game. It's gonna be bad. Like the early access queue is gonna be infinitely worse than the actual release date queue. It's gonna be so bad.
So of course, I do want to caution you because there may be some of you who are
We
purchasing an
testing the
expansion
servers.
for the first time with Dawntrail.
予約をしないとアーリーアクセスの権利がないので、やったー6月28から遊べるって言って予約を忘れてると、みんなこうバーって夏休み行ってるのに自分だけ7月2日まで待たなきゃいけなくなるので注意してくださいね。
So you need to make sure you have pre-ordered the expansion in order to gain early access. So
Okay.
if you don't pre-order, while everybody's going on summer vacation, June 28th, and you realize, wait, I haven't pre-ordered, so you have to wait until the actual release,
That
which is
would
July
suck.
the 2nd. So if you want early access, you might want to pre-order.
ではプレオーダーその予約開始日に関してですが、来週スタートします。
And so pre-orders will begin next week.
Steam も、
So let me just grab something for you guys, okay? You wanna know what time my fucking plane takes off on Tuesday? Let me open Delta right now. My plane takes off on Tuesday at, okay, it's loading. Give me a second, please. My flight takes off at 9:40 a.m. So 20 minutes after my flight takes off is when pre-order goes live. So I'm hoping we're high enough in the air to where I can buy my Wi-Fi and pre-order, or I'm going to have to like beg someone to buy it for me because I'm gonna cry.
この日からスタートするんですが、Steam 版以外は予約サイトがねそれぞれの時間で開くのでチェックしていただきたいんですが、Steam 版は全世界同時に、PTD に
Yes, I want the
9時に
physical
開くの
collector's
で、
edition.
ご注意ください。
So of course, the Steam version will be one set time globally. So it's on the disclaimer down there at 9 a.m. PDT. But the rest is local time, 9 a.m. Let's see, America would be West Coast time, but.
そしてさっきご紹介した、ちょっと待ってね。この2つのアイテムは。プレオーダーしていただいたのが確認でき次第、レターモーグリがすぐに皆さんのところに運びに行きますので 7.0 を待たずに、アイテムをお届けしますのでぜひ早めの予約をお願いいたします。
And of course, the in-game bonuses that you receive with pre-ordering will be delivered to you via delivery Moogle as soon as we are able to confirm the pre-order. So you are able to access these before the expansion launches.
Oh, nice.
ね
You're not on Spuds time. My stream
ただ
crashed like 6
ね
times.
ちょっと不安なのが、ね、予約サイトがダウンしなきゃいいなっていう。
The only concern that we have is I hope the pre-order site doesn't
That time
crash.
for the servers of the
again.
countries.
あとこうレターモーグリたちがもう無理クポ疲れたクポってちょっとね遅れる可能性もあるんで
And our poor delivery Moogles, they may be like, oh, I'm so tired,
Steam.
Kupo.
Wait.
まあいずれにせよ
That's weird.
ちょっと予約をしていただいた方から順次アイテムすぐにねお届けしてまいりますのでぜひ予約の方よろしくお願いします。
That said, we will be delivering these in-game items as we confirm
Wait, so is
your
it 9 a.m.
pre-order.
everywhere?
So,
Or I'm
we
kinda
would
confused
encourage
now.
you to do so.
はい。さあでは、1
Or
時間にわたっ
are all
て
three
い
of
ろ
those
いろ
time
お
zones the
話
same?
ししてまいりましたが、ドントレイルのお話はこの辺までかなと。
So yeah, we had about 1 hour to speak about our new expansion.
Okay.
So I think that kind of wraps up discussion
Yay!
about our Dawntrail expansion.
ただですね昨日 パックスイーストの方でですね、ファイナルファンタジー
Now you
16
have
の
local time for Steam. Okay.
パネルがございました。
That said, I know there was a panel on Final Fantasy XVI just yesterday.
パネルを見ていたらですね、ファイナルファンタジー16のプロデューサーの吉田 P がですね、
And in that panel, the producer, Yoshida,
クロスオーバークエストの開始日、ヨシピー発表していいよって言ってくれたんで、
mentioned that, oh yeah, Final Fantasy XIV producer director, you're welcome to announce the crossover quest line release date.
というわけで7月2日からスタートさせていただきます。
So that,
That is-
April 2nd is going to be the date that
Oh,
the crossover
nice.
quest line will become available.
まあ約1ヶ月ですね、4月入ったらすぐにスタートしますので、ぜひぜひご
No
期待く
second.
ださ
That's
い。
nice. That's
So
my-
it will
yeah.
begin as soon as we enter the month of April. So I hope you take a look.
まだまだ16、PC 版を楽しみにお待ち、くださっている方もいるというふうに思いますので、今回のクロスオーバークエストは、16のストーリーの物語の序盤とのクロスオーバーになっているので、極端な強いネタバレはできるだけしないように、でも報酬が豪華になるように一生懸命14チームと16チーム力を合わせて作りました。
And of course, we understand that there are players of Final Fantasy XVI who are looking forward to the PC release. So we don't want to spoil the story for those who
is
are
there
on
an-
14 who are waiting for 16. So the crossover content kind of covers like the,
When is
the
16
first
coming to
part of the
PC?
game without any spoilers. But we have made sure that the rewards are very robust. So I hope you look forward to that.
Soon. Soon.
ようやく本当は長く引っ張りましたが、実装日お知らせできたので、各言語ウェブサイトで特設ページ開いていくと思います。
And of course, it did take a while, but the team worked really hard, and we were able to announce the implementation date. So I believe we do have landing pages, web pages that give us the details on these.
まあクエストのスタートがどこなのか、どんな報酬がもらえるのか、細かい情報すべてウェブサイトの方に記載されており
How
ます
much do
の
you
で、
guys want to bet that
ぜひこの
the
公
Square
演が
Enix
終わって
website
ページが
crashes
開いた
when the
ら
pre-order goes
内
out?
容チェックよろしくお願いします。
I think you will be able to find details about, say, where the quest giver is and things like that. So once the page does open up, if it hasn't already, we encourage you to take a look.
さあでは1時間にわたって、パックスイーストの会場からお届けしてきた14のステージですが、そろそろ終わりの時間とな
They
りました
pre-ordered the entire game,
Right,
but
I
not
think that,
collector's edition.
we are approaching the end of this presentation, actually.
これ以上スポイラーで話せないんだって。
No, there's too much spoilers. I can't avoid spoilers. So.
Oh, what did they say?
ごめんごめん。
No.
歓声しか聞こえない。
I'm sorry. I only heard the
Oh my god, look at
cheers. I
all the
was
people in
curious.
the crowd with glasses. Dude, that's how you know it's a crowd of gamers. They all have fucking glasses on. Absolute gamers. They all have, like, more than half of them have glasses on.
歓声しか聞こえない。
I'm sorry. I only heard the cheers. I was curious to know what that guy was saying.
何何何 What?
One of us.
ジョブアクショントレーラー。
ごめんごめん。今作ってるから。
We are still in the process of making that, though.
Sorry. まあいよいよ今日発売日、アーリーアクセス発表できたので、5月上旬からは世界中を回ったメディアツアー始まるので、そこから多数の情報もちろん出ていきます。
So yeah, today was the announcement for the release timing, and so we will be conducting a media tour towards the beginning of May-ish, and we do plan on revealing more information in the lead up to Dawntrail.
そして4
I
月
really
には、
wanna know who's got
久しぶ
invited to
りに
media
はなります
tour.
がプロデューサーレターライブも行って
I already
い
gave
よ
you
い
guys
よ
my
グラフィック
predictions.
スアップデートの内容を実機ドントレーラーのクライアントを使いながら細かいところかなり説明していこうと思います。
And of course, in April,
Ponto
we plan to do
100% got
another letter
invited.
from the producer
100%.
live to talk about the graphical updates.
Him and Sarah Jane, I think,
utilizing
are on
actual
100%.
in-game,
Maybe Sayori too. She's
yeah,
really
using
big streamer
in-game
too.
もう本当に今開発佳境に入っているので、正直僕このパックスイストの会場の隣のホテルでジョ
Sarah
ブの
Jane,
チェッ
yeah,
クしてたりするん
100%.
で。
It's Sarah Jane, right?
But yeah, the team is working really hard, and I think we're reaching the peak of our development production. And I actually am also reviewing the materials that come up and in my hotel room.
なのでそれぐらい一生懸命作ってますんで、もうちょっとお待ちください。
So the team is working really hard. So just a little bit more of your patience would be definitely appreciated.
Nice.
さあでは最後に改めまして本当に、ARR から数えると丸10年、そして 1.0 から数えるとね、もう13年にわたって本当に世界中たくさんの人にサポートしていただいて14ここまで来れました。
So once again, I would like to just look back at the 10 years of ARR, and if you count it from the original 1.0, 13 years, just how much support we've received from players around the world, and just how appreciative I am of you all.
我々がね本当にここまで歩んでこれたのは本当にプレイヤーの皆さん、光の戦士の皆さんのおかげです。
And the reason why we were able to get this far in our journey is just truly because of the players, our warriors of light.
ぜひですね、これから今日お話ししたように、さらにこの先10年、20年、僕がちょっと死んじゃって機械になるかもしれないですけど、そうなったとしても14続けていけるように、皆さんと一緒に引き続き歩いていきたいと思います。
But yeah, we will continue to strive forward, aiming for the next 10, 20 years, you know, to the day I die, basically, to bring you Final Fantasy XIV.
ありがとうございました。
Good presentation. That was good. I'm sad I couldn't have watched it like the day it came out with you guys, but at least we ended up watching it eventually, right? At least we watched it eventually. I'm sorry for my PC crashing literally 12 billion fucking times while watching this. Yeah, that was a good presentation. That was good. That was good. Okay.